Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. The Honorable Mr. Firdaus, my fellow friends, ladies and gentlemen, let me say a prayer, praise and gratitude for the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has bestowed grace and pleasure so that I can stand firm in good health. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Second, salawat accompanied by greetings are still poured out to the leader of the nation's role model, namely the great Prophet Muhammad SAW. Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, Rini Antika will deliver a speech with the theme of juvenile delinquency. As we know it nowadays, juvenile delinquency is rampant on of which is that many teenagers abuse illegal drugs, namely drugs. The involvement of Indonesia young generation in international drug networks has also evidently been rampant lately, making the police and related officers have to work extra hard to uncover and minimize these bad things. One thing that is truly astonishing is that the widespread distribution of drugs has now even penetrated to the elementary schools environment, a pretty hard slog for law enforcement, of course. As can see, is a period of puberty or a transition period where emotional and psychological instability often occurs. During this transition period, teenagers are also looking for self-training as a person. Teenagers find curiously involved association in the environment and also the lack of getting closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala are the triggers for juvenile delinquency to occur. Ladies and gentlemen, that in this modern era, teenagers have the right and obligation to rule the nation and state. They actually violate the law by using drugs. In fact, teenagers have not been able to master their basic or thought because they are still classified as children in general, who are still studying in schools and universities. The growth of teenagers are still unstable, sometimes take action that deviate from religious norms, such as teenagers who abuse drugs, teenagers who use illegal drugs are mostly caused by bad environmental and individual influences. Here are these factors. Individual factors because teenagers who are experiencing biological, psychological, and social change are individuals who are vulnerable to drug abuse. Adolescents with certain characteristics have a greater risk of becoming drug users. Environmental factor for communication with parents. Parents are too busy or indifferent. Parents who allow everything their children do. Their children do. School environment schools located near drug dealers and entertainment heroes, less strict school rules. Schools do not provide opportunities for students to develop themselves creatively and positively. A social environment make friends with drug users or users. Pressures and threats from friends or drug dealers. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect, especially for adolescents who are in period of development between childhood and adulthood, which can lead to a period of crisis marked by tendency to acquire deviant behavior, wherein adolescence there will be a very high desire to try something now, give up when the times and lifestyle by for the role of religious morals and supervision of the family and community environment is very necessary in preventing drugs among teenagers. And if during adolescence it has been damaged due to drug abuse, it is believed to release notions, desire, and individual adolescence ideals. Ladies and gentlemen, consuming drugs is one of the acts that cause crime and also acts of Satan, and at the same time, he knows that we must stay away from so that we are safe in this world and in the hereafter, and the community environment is peaceful. There is not a single crime. Narcotics are known by the abbreviation psychotropics and illegal drugs and are also known as drugs, namely narcotics, psychotropic substances, and the most addictive substances that cause a person to become dependent on these drugs. The two terms are often used interchangeably, although the term drug is broader in scope. Narcotics come from three types of plants, namely number 1, opium, number 2, marijuana, number 3, weed. Drug dependency can be interpreted as a condition that encourages a person to consume illegal drugs repeatedly or continuously. If he does not do it, he feels addicted or psycho, which result in an uncomfortable feeling and even a very painful feeling in the body. Friends and viewers, do you know you are dangers of drugs that are working our generation especially teenagers? As we know, there are many dangers in using drugs, one of which is for the health of our bodies. Drugs are known to cause addiction, serious disorders, illness, and death. In the scan, abusing drugs can make them develop fatal health problems such as heart disease, high blood pressures, and sleep disorders. In addition, teenagers who use drugs with needless are also at high risk of contracting blood-borne diseases. Examples such as HIV, AIDS, and hepatitis B and C. Some types of drugs can also damage organs in the body, such as ecstasy, which can cause heart failure and liver failure. Not only, the drugs can also affect the intelligence of teenagers because these drugs can damage long-term and short-term memory, so that eventually they will experience learning and memory problems in the future. Drugs can also interfere with the brain development of teenagers. Young children's brains are still growing and developing well into their mid-20s. This is especially true for the prefrontal cortex, which is used to make decisions. And then how I respect taking drugs when you are young can interfere with the developmental processes that occur in the brain. This can also affect their discussion making. As a result, they may be more likely to do risky things such as practicing concept sex and dangerous driving. The earlier young people start using drugs, the greater the risk of struggling with addiction later in life. In fact, they are also at risk of permanent brain damage and can threaten drug abuse among adolescents can result in serious or permanent mental disorders. Is not it terrible the bad effect of drugs on the heart and intelligence of teenagers? Therefore, it is important for parents to as much as possible protect their teenagers from exposure to these illegal drugs. Building close relationship and open communication with teenagers is one of the keys for parents to prevent their children from bad things such as drugs. Parents must always supervise every association and always give positive advice and instilling spiritual values by parents who fit teaching to avoid dangerous drugs. Because there are so many bad effects of drugs, it will be nice if we stay away from illegal drugs and feel our free system-wide useful things. Therefore, we as educators must support the anti-drug movement by making posters on the dangers of drugs, like socialization and other activities. In addition, it is important to provide moral and religious education to students because one of the reasons students use drugs is the lack of moral and religious education. Therefore, let us avoid and participate in eradicating narcotics. Prevention so that drug users in school, especially teenagers, are increasingly. Ladies and gentlemen, parents must always supervise every association and always give positive speech and instilling spiritual values by parents profit teachings to avoid dangerous drugs, efforts to avoid the dangers of drugs. Abuse can be done in at least 3 ways. First, for yourself, that is each of use fortifies ourselves from the possibility of becoming drug user. We can do that by being smart and causing friends to harm our outright. Second, by increasing faith and piety to Allah while asking use to avoid the dangers of alcohol and drug abuse. By crying out all Allah comments and staying away from Allah Subhanahu prohibition, we will avoid despicable deaths. Third, let us always remember that whatever we do today is basically saving for our future because there are so many bad effects of drugs. It won't be nice if we stay away from illegal drugs and fill our free time by useful things. Therefore, we as educators must support the anti-drug movement by making posters and on the dangers of drug socialization and other activities. Say this, it is important to provide education morals and religion in students because one of the reasons students use drugs is the lack of moral and religious education. Therefore, let us avoid and participate in eradicating narcotics prevention so that drug users in school, especially teenagers, are decreasing to the speech about the dangers of drugs. That I can confirm. If there is an error in speaking, I apologize, and to Allah I ask forgiveness for your attention. I thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.